So you can see my chin. I had just finished that long video. Not as long as I usually make them, but that long video about the 854 and 948s. And basically I said I was running low on 1x16 blue Technic beams. Now, again, I do own, straight up, I do own lots of them, but they're in the layout because they're making a tower. So, and therefore I wasn't that interested in going out of my way to get more. So I just finished that video. I finished uploading it this morning. We took Josh over to swimming. He goes swimming every Saturday at the pool between 1 and 2. So my wife and I are left our own devices for a couple hours. And hey, let's go to Value Village. So we went to the one up in Ancaster. Walked in. Ancaster is a little bit odd for a Value Village that we like because we hit lots of them. They keep the Lego overall behind the display cabinets, and so you have to ask somebody to come over and show them to you, and it depends on who is there that day. I guess the rule is they can only bring you one bag at a time, that you look at it and you say yes or no, and then they put it aside, and then or they put it back, and then they bring you the next bag. And the Value Village today at Ancaster had a half a dozen bags of Lego, about a dozen bags of minifigs. Just a sec, because the battery's dying, so I'm going to plug this thing in, because it's, you know, whatever, so, because I can do that. This thing should be charging now, hopefully. But anyway, so the guy brings all the bags over. I can't see, because it's like 15 feet away. I can't see what's in the bag. We just got in from the outside, so that's why coughing cold to warm. So we went to Value Village up in Ancaster. The guy brought over the bags of Lego, and the very first bag he brings over is this one. The very first bag he brings over is this one. And I look at it, and the very first thing I notice is this thing is not Lego at all. And I go, yeah, it's probably going to go back. But then I turn it over, and I see this boat hull made out of Lego. But you can see it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 1x16s. Maybe 4 1x16s and 2 1x14s there, and some more on top. I just got 4 more 1x16 Technic blue beams, bricks. And then the second bag that I brought over was this one, which had some interesting pieces for me, maybe not for other people, but for me, and some more Technic bricks. Now the rest of the stuff that you brought over was not Lego, or just basic brick from pre I just noticed that there's a Spirius set in here. I'm gonna open this up right now, because now I'm curious, because I didn't even notice this when I bought it. I ran out because I put all those sets together. Anyway, so and a boat, and what else is in here? There's some non-Lego in here. So this is non-Lego, obviously. BTR, build to whatever. Some of this is also not Lego. So I'll be doing some more sorting now, some more washing. C'est la vie, it's part of the gig for the used Lego. But I got it because of these two lots. That is not Lego. I didn't get it for the basketball net, although the basketball net is cool to have. So, and of course with the discount card, so that's Lego, that's Lego, Lego, not Lego, not Lego. I'm going to say the rest of this is not Lego at all, except for maybe that piece there. Oh well, usually you don't get a mix of Lego and non-Lego built together. That's Lego, and I'm going to say the rest of it is not. So that's not Lego. This whole boat thing. I will say that this kid is one of the few kids that whoever dropped the set off, combined the Lego and the not Lego. Which is okay. I mean, my problem is that these people blatantly ripped off the Lego company, and the rest of it is not Lego. But this is what I wanted to buy. And it's even got a minifig. Yay, minifig with life jacket. not Lego, and that is Lego. Panel, good to have. This guy, look at that. 1x16. Let me just verify that. The eyes get old. Obviously it has to be washed. Yeah, 1x16s there, and these are 1x12s, but also 1x16s there. So 4 1x16 Technic blue beams just came into my collection today because I just happened to say this morning I need some more 1x16 blue. I cannot possibly complain about that at all. Anyway, I thought you should know it. This is the addendum to the last video. I think it's kind of neat, and that's not Lego. For crying out loud, I didn't even notice that. so this is not Spyrus. This is the Renegade. Not that there's any more pieces in here for the Renegade, but I'm saying this is for the Renegade. I love how this stuff happens to me. What was I saying? I was saying that I mentioned in another video that used lot, by the way, on Marketplace was sold to somebody else. They picked it up today, so I didn't get it. So that was $200 of my money that I didn't have to spend. So that's okay. And it was all sets that I already own, so that's okay. But it would have been duplicates of Blacktron 2 and all the other ones. So I don't regret that I didn't get them, because I don't regret, because here I am, like from this morning's video saying, hey, I need 1x16s, just because I don't feel like taking anything else apart. I got more 1x16s today, and the one bag was $9.99, the other bag was $6.99 for a grand total of whatever that is, and then I used my discount card, so the whole thing with taxes was $15. This is definitely $15 worth of Lego for me. This is good, especially now that I didn't even notice that I got one of these. That's fantastic. And I showed you the control panel, and I even I think they put the wrong tires in here, but even this guy, I always like this piece. And like a car body here, a boat. Not that I need any more boats. I have lots of these, but it's cool to have. But these black ones, because I built all the space sets now, I was running out of these, so that's cool. And what else? Yeah, so I got that gray control console, really nice. And a couple of minifigs. So anyway, I'm gonna keep this thing as short as I possibly can. There's some, definitely this has to be washed. So there you go. Do not regret the lots you miss. I've known for a very exceedingly long time now, since I started the used market collecting, even back pre-internet days, that there will be another lot later. And sometimes it's a long time later, straight up. I fully understand that. Sometimes it's weeks, months, years. When we used to do our hobby shows and the Toy Train and Adult shows, there would be vendors there selling stuff, and Jeff and I would always invariably walk around looking at what the vendors were selling, G.I. Joes and Transformers and whatever else they were. It's a lot of model trains, obviously, HO and N scale and O scale and blah blah. But for a while there, Jeff and I, almost every show, would find a vendor selling stuff, and at the bottom underneath their table would just be a box, a cardboard box of Lego, just mixed Lego, and with like 15, 20, sometimes $30, $40, and we would just buy it. Jeff and I would just, hey, we're gonna buy this, and then we would bring it back to our layout, what we had, to 40x40 and whatever we're displaying at the Toy Train and Adult show or the hobby show, and we would go through it, and invariably there'd be just like the coolest bricks in there. I missed those days. We went to the CTCS, the Canadian Toy Collector Show, at the Canadian Toy Collector Society show over in Etobicoke at the beginning of the year. And there was some vendors there, and one vendor was actually selling Lego, but it's more Duplo. She was a retired teacher, and she was getting out of it, and she had some Duplo, and I don't need to buy Duplo. But But that was nice to see that there was at least a vendor there selling Lego, and it was a small show. I'm hoping, I really wish, because again, I have a few friends right now that do all those kind of shows, and they sell their Lego, the builds and stuff like that, and it is really cool. I'm hoping. I honestly miss the shows, and let's go off on a quick tangent to make this video slightly longer. I honestly miss the shows where there would be exhibitors and vendors at these shows, and the exhibitors would be like us, displaying our Lego creations, and the vendors would be selling whatever they're selling. But for the last bunch of years, even pre-COVID, I started, trying to invite myself along to these shows. And overall, I was the only exhibitor. I was the only exhibitor, and that's because I had to call them and say, do you have any floor space for me to set up my classic space layout? And some people said no. And I'm going, that's fine. They don't want my classic space layout, whatever. Or an exhibitor, because it's taking up floor space for people who can rent the table and pay whatever they pay for the weekend. But I do miss shows. Me, personally, I miss shows where there's exhibitors and vendors. I will have to say, on the non-specific Lego convention, the like the hobby shows and the toy train and doll shows, the toy train and doll show and the hobby show were my favorite, because if I ever got bored of my 40 by 40 area and hanging out with my friends, which never happens, I would go for a walk and I would see what other people are displaying. The mechanical guys would be there. Always fantastic to see what the mechanical guys are building, because that stuff's awesome too. If Lego wasn't something that I would be interested in, I'd probably be a mechanical guy, because I love what they can build. But the train guys, like seriously, some of those train layouts, and I know it's an absolute hobby that's fast fading in the grand scheme of hobbies, because like a lot of kids are not picking up HO sets anymore. You can still get them and whatever, but I remember just being enthralled by, and they have the seminars and the symposiums of how to build landscaping and how to build bridges and all that stuff out of, stuff around the house, and spray foam and stuff like that. I absolutely loved that stuff back in the day. And I miss doing those kind of shows where you got to see that. And so the new shows where it's just all vendors all the time, I get why they do that, because the more tables they sell, the more the show makes. My problem is that I also want to see stuff at a show. And so there should be a balance between vendors and exhibitors, as there was with the Toy Train and Doll show and the hobby show. But again, I think that time has passed. All the shows I've been to recently, I've had to invite myself along, and I'd be the only exhibitor at the show. The Mississauga comic shows, there was me, and there was the special guest star for the weekend, some either wrestler or some people who did voiceovers for He-Man and She-Ra's or whatever cartoons. Not like a Lucy Lawless, but somebody famous who did voiceovers for whatever cartoon that they were featuring that weekend. And I enjoyed that. And I enjoyed that too, but there was no other exhibitors besides me. And those guys are there to get paid to give signatures. And again, that's what they do, and I'm not no fault at all. I think that's fantastic. I don't know of them, so I don't need their signature, their autograph. But people are lined up to see them, and I'm going to say that from what I saw, because my display was near those tables where people were signing things, 2 or 3 people, that these people were very amicable, very, very attentive to the lineup in front of them, the fans who have come to see them, and have little chats with them and stuff like that. It was very, very sweet and nice and wonderful. And so I appreciate that part of the show that the Mississauga guys were doing, that they would bring in these people that are famous and give out their signatures, their autographs. But these people who are giving out, because let's go off on a quick tangent. I follow Will Wheaton. He's one of my favorite people. He doesn't know who I am, and that's perfectly acceptable. But yeah, I follow him because I loved him since Stand By Me, and of course Wesley Crusher. And do not disparage Wesley Crusher. Yes, there was some bad writing there, but the character fantastic. But anyway, so he would tell me about conventions, and or tell him, not me, but he would post about conventions on wherever his Just a Geek and whatever else like that. And I know of this because I hear people who are my friends who are absolute comic book people, and they go to all the Comic Cons and all the STCCs and blah blah blah. I've never been. My biggest was Anime North, but and even that place had lineups and queues to get somebody's autograph who did the voiceover for whatever character in whatever Princess Mononoke or whatever. And fantastic. That's part of the ambiance. It's not for me, but it's for other people who want their autograph books to be full of the people that of the shows. I have a few friends, acquaintances mostly, that made sure that they got all the signatures, the autographs of people who starred in Star Trek over the years. So they've been going to Star Trek conventions their entire life. So they got signatures, autographs from all the cast from all the different shows, and that's their focus, and that's what they love, and they love. And I'm there for it. Like, trust me, when somebody shows me their autograph book, I'm absolutely I was standing in line for 3 hours at this Comic Con here, and here's the signature from the guy who played Kim, Ensign Kim. That's not right. On Voyager, for Harry Kim. Yeah, Harry Kim. Memory. And oh yeah, and then he talked to me. Garrett Wang, nice guy, from what I'm told. And Garrett Wang, and so he had a quick chat with me, and I love that. Instead of just signature next, signature next, signature next. Like, again, what I'm told Bill Shatner sometimes does. Not to disparage Shatner, because I really don't. I like the guy, but I never needed a signature, so it doesn't matter to me. So I get that is part of this hobby, or a hobby, where you want the signature, and the autograph. And so having a show like that is perfect. My thing is that beyond the autograph, people giving out autographs for whichever famous person is at the show, there has to be something to see, and yet that seems to be lost on this next generation of showrunners, where they don't invite exhibitors. We used to get invited. To shows. Not anymore. and I go to these shows, and there's no exhibitors there anyway, so I can see why we don't get invited. Now, I haven't been to a train show in forever. I would love to do a train show again. Whether it's a Lego train layout or just a space layout, because it has train track. So I would love to do a train show, because they usually have more than one exhibitor. They have when we. This is why I want to do. Hopefully, to do it at Doors Open again this year, hopefully this spring, at the Steam Museum down the street here, because they had 3 or 4 train layouts in the building that I was in, and then they had the mechanical guys outside underneath the gazebo, and they had the trains that you could actually sit on, because they have a little 8-inch wide. I don't know how wide the tracks are, but they have a little mini layout out there where you can take a train ride. And it's all by people who are part of a hobby, a part of a group of people, like-minded enthusiasts. And I really love that, to be part of not just vendors trying to sell their wares. And again, not disparaging the vendors trying to sell their wares. There's a time and place for that too at these shows, but it can't be 100%. That's my issue. It cannot be 100% vendor tables. But I think the showrunners, I don't know if it's because they just got fed up with exhibitors. Like when I was running, and the running is a very loose word on this, when I was the head of the shows that we were doing as RTL Toronto for the longest time, I was the liaison between the show people, the organizers of the show, and our RTL Toronto group, for a bunch of shows. But me being the lazy ass that I am, I would just say, hey, when's your show? And you want us to fill it up? What space can you give us? 40 by 40. And I would just send an email or a post in Lugnet. Hey guys, the July whatever weekend for 2 days, I need this 40 by 40 area set up, and everybody show up. So there was not a lot of work on my part. So I wasn't this micromanager. Oh, make sure you're here from 8 to 4 and then go up for lunch. No, I'm going to be there anyway, so people can come and go as they want. I'm going to be there. And then my friends were also there, which is utterly fantastic. It made me look good to the show organizers that every single time we managed to bring a wonderful display to a show, and the showrunners were very happy with us. As far as I know, every single show we did, and we did a lot of shows. Every single show we did, the showrunners were very happy with us. Every show that we were invited to. But then we kind of waned because RTL Toronto kind of waned, and we were doing BrickFet. So since 2011, we were doing BrickFet. We hardly did other shows outside of BrickFet, which is fine because BrickFet was a lot of management, a lot of organizing with Janie and stuff, and make sure she's good and make sure she's good. So we didn't do exterior shows a lot during BrickFet, which is fine. And then when BrickFet stopped, and then COVID started, right before COVID started, I was doing shows again on my own, and it was a completely different experience. It was honestly I had to, I won't say beg for a spot on the floor, but I was saying, hey showrunner, I have this and I want to display it at your weekend Comic Con or Collector Con or whatever. And they would go, oh, well, we'll see if we have floor space. Well, no, I'm not interested. I'm doing this for free. And so they, and that's what, and again, I'm not disparaging because I don't know them at all. I sent an email off to one that was going to be in a city near us. And it was supposed to be January 15th, which is next weekend. But I sent it back in December or November, and I said, hey, because I'm part of their newsletter. I get their newsletters. Hey, you're going to have the show out there down the street. I have this, and you've seen it because at the other shows. I want to bring it and set it up and show it. Oh, well, we'll get back to you, Mr. Caudes. And that was the one line. We'll get back to you. And they never got back to me. Okay, well, obviously you don't want me there. And obviously it's going to be 100% vendors. And it's not my rodeo. So I shouldn't take it. I don't take it personally. But it's just frustrating compared to what we used to get, where we were purposely, people sought us out to do a display, and now it's like we beg for floor space, and I'm not begging for anybody. But anyway, that was a huge tangent on the fact that I got a bunch of Blue Technic beams now. 4 of them are 1x16. And what I didn't even know until I got this thing out is I got the. These two, I'm not going to build another Renegade because the rest of the pieces aren't here, but because there's no yellow tiles, and those will be what I don't have. But this is fun. Now this is all the part, and I got this guy, fantastic to have. I'm going to wash these at some point. So yeah, to wrap this up, I do consider myself to be exceedingly fortunate in the lots that I do find, but I also don't get, oh, I wish I got that lot. Let it go by and forget about it, because there's going to be another lot around the corner. It is the long game. You're playing the long game. So I've been collecting since as teenagers, and I put the ad in the paper, and I mentioned that so many times now, you guys are probably sick of hearing it, but there were a few times I walked away. If somebody would call me up and say, hey, I got this box and it's $100. Like, oh, okay. I come over and it's a little tiny cardboard box. Like the bricks in there, spot off the store shelf, was cheaper than the $100 that you're asking me for it. And it wasn't vintage yet. There was no such thing as vintage Lego back in the 90s or 80s when I put the ad in the paper. And so I'm not interested. And you'd be polite about it, because I'm always polite. But no, that's not worth $100 to me. Maybe somebody else wants it. maybe somebody else, and then you walk out. And sometimes again, this is not a negotiation for me. I wasn't interested in that box for $100, and I said thanks, have a nice day. And as I walk out the door, oh, I'll give it to you for 60 or 40, and that's how low they know, because maybe they thought like I was going to buy anything for $100. I said $100 in the ad max, and there was this one kid, a teenager, younger than me, who had one of those expedition sets, the jungle sets, the whole set. It came with one of the race base plates and then one of the curved base road base plates, except it was green with the river on it, and it was complete, but it was filthy dusty. And he said $60, and I'm going, this is back then. I said, that set in the store when you got it for whatever birthday you got 6 years ago, because it wasn't that old at that time, was $60. I'm not paying you $60, and I was polite about it, but I said, I'm not paying you $60 for a set that sat in your bedroom for the last 6 years, gathering dust that I have to wash now for $60. I'm not doing it. Like that's not even $20 to me. Like at that time. Now it's probably worth a mint because it's, you know, one of those jungle sets, mint. And he said, okay, well, if you don't want it, you don't want it. I said, yeah, have a nice day. I left the house. And I have that set here somewhere. Not his, but I have a copy of that set somewhere because I already had it. I wasn't thinking about by the pound back then, but I do at that point, as I say, $75 for Galaxy Explorers back in the day was reasonable to me. Now it's not, because Galaxy Explorers are coveted now more than they were back then at the beginning of eBay. But I am more than willing to walk away from Lego if it's too much money, and that determination is honestly 100% made by me. You make your own determination, but I know in my heart of hearts, because I've been doing this for 50 years now, as well, the last 40 specifically, because since I was 13 I've been buying my own, and at the beginning what would happen is when I walked away I go, oh, I really wanted that, but I didn't want to pay that much money for it, and I'm gonna regret it because those pieces were awesome. Within a year I had those pieces. Within a day, as I was just talking on the video this morning, 1x16s. Now again, if I really wanted them, I could have gone on Bricklink. Absolutely gone on Bricklink to get them. But where's the fun in that? And so you keep your eyes open. We hit 2 Valley Villages today, right? Just because Josh is swimming and we drove around. We had Ancaster and Waterdown. I didn't buy any Lego in Waterdown. Well, I can't say that. I bought a Obi-Wan Kenobi Bionicle guy because Josh broke mine, so now he has another one to break. But this was at the first one, the very first bag they handed me. Again, serendipity, fate, whatever you want to call it. I keep my eyes open. There was at least 8 bags in the Waterdown Valley Village that I left on the shelf because I had just finished washing all the other used bricks that I had collected up for the Sandy and I've been collecting for the last 4 or 5 months. I just washed them and they're drying out there now, and I'm just like, oh, I'm not gonna wash this because this was something I specifically thought about this morning, and it makes it good for video now. But they had Mars missions, and again, I'm gonna forget. I think it is Mars missions, the white and trans orange sets. They had Mars missions. They had the containers for the Martians, orange, the trans orange containers. They had the white. I was thinking it was the big same size wheels as the Megacore magnetized, but orange. It was that set, except the orange tires weren't there, and I'm not buying. It was across 6 or 7 bags. I'm not buying 6 or 7 bags of like non-Lego that has a bunch of Mars missions in there that doesn't have the big orange tires, because what's the point? And they also had the aero tubes, and I think Mars missions also had the aero tubes, the connectors, but none of the tubes. Had the tubes been in any of the bags, I would have bought it. I would have bought all of it, but I'm not interested in getting pieces here and there of sets that I like, but I don't, they're not on my top of my list of classic space. There was one bag, by the way, that had the the 1x3x6, the 3x6x1 blue slope with the classic space logo on it. But it was the 6890 classic space, the smaller one, the classic space logo. And you know how many 6890s I already have. I don't need yet another one. And I couldn't find more than 2 wing plates in any of the bags. And so I said, I'm not buying this one bag. It also had blue train track, by the way. I posted the pictures on my Facebook. The old blue train track, and there was like 2 or 3 bags with old blue train track in it. So it came from one lot. The blue track, the classic space, and the Mars missions. And there was 7 or 8 bags there. And I'm going, I was tempted. Absolutely. I had them in my hand. I took them off. I'm examining the bags. Had I examined more, I would have, found that. But this was from the first value village. The second value village where the other bags were. And I'm going, I got a whole bunch to sort right now. And there's a lot of basic brick in those bags, and there's a lot of non-Lego in those bags. Worse than this pile that I got going on right here, the Tonka sitting there. I'm not interested in doing that work right now. I got better things to do with my time. I got these ones because of this, and I wanted a story to tell you guys. Look at this. 3 hours ago, I didn't have them. No, I do. And the fact that I got some bonuses, fantastic. It was a cute story. Had I bought those 6 or 8 bags, I'm sure there would have been bonuses in there too, but whatever. Let somebody else have those bags. Because sooner or later, I'm going to go into a value village or a thrift store or any other thrift store or at a show, and there's going to be more Lego there. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. And even if it comes right down to it where I specifically need a Mars mission set, I will go on Bricklink. I do believe I'm only missing 1, maybe 2 of the Mars mission sets, and that was the Toys R Us exclusive with the big driller with the legs coming off, like the big octopus walker thing, if I remember correctly. And I never got it. And so I don't know actually if I probably have it in a used lot, because I have lots of Mars missions pieces here, the white with the stickers on it, with the orange on it. I don't know. It's not a theme that I want to do it because I'm doing all the space set reviews. But it's not a theme that I particularly want to collect. I want to collect classic space. And again, today I saw a 3x6x1 slope with the classic space logo on it, and I left it there because I have enough. And there wasn't anything else in that bag that was radically making me. The blue rails, absolutely. Blue slope with this classic space, absolutely. But a lot of basic brick, a lot of 2x4 bricks with the holes in it for the old wheels. And I'm going, I got a million of those. I would have to, a lot of those bags would have been sorted right into my big tote over there of overflow bricks, because I don't need any more basic brick. I don't need any more blue rails. I don't need any more slopes with the original, the second classic space logo on it. I don't need it. I want it. Again, if I had unlimited space and unlimited cash, absolutely. But then again, if I had unlimited space and unlimited cash, I would have got that lot a week ago that was just sold on Marketplace today. I talked to a lady today, making sure that whoever was getting it picked it up, because I said if they didn't, I would come up and get it. And she said, no, the guy was here at noon. Perfect. She's happy. She got her $200. I didn't have to spend $200 on sets. I already had. It was just with duplicates, a lot of nice figs and whatever. But still, you let it go and you make a nice video about it, which is what the purpose of this whole thing was, is to say, do not regret the stuff you don't get. Because sooner or later, sometimes later, it'll come around again. Trust me. And if it's that important to you, then get it. Then get it now. But if you're in come see, come saw, should I? Don't. If you like this one, the second I saw it, boom, in my basket. Not even a hesitation. The ones that I saw with the Mars missions and the classic space logo, I'm going, the rest of it, is it worth $9? Yeah, absolutely worth $9. But is it worth $9 to me and all the sorting I have to do afterwards? Yeah, no. So, anywho, I've said that too many times now. I'm going to put this in a bin. It's going to get sorted. Washed at some point before it goes into the collection. This stuff's going to go into the bin in the garage that goes back to the store for a discount card. And that's how we do things. And I'm good. So this was supposed to be a quick video, and we're already 34 minutes. So I will talk to you soon. Everybody out there, I hope you're doing well in 2023. Take care, stay safe, and I'll talk to you a bit.